Hi there, Gina Scarpino, psychic medium and spiritual life coach. So, I thought it would be great to talk about winning lottery numbers because we are coming up um, for some really wonderful times here energetically. A lot of crazy stuff is going on right now with Mercury in retrograde. Let's just say, like, psychic ability is at its utmost high. Okay, the other day in the car, it was like boom, 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 like four things. Like as I spoke about it, it came true. Spoke about it, came true. It was a lot. I was like, oh my goodness. So I thought it'd be really cool to talk about how to choose winning lottery numbers, right? And this all came about because I had a client email me, two actually recently, but one a while ago, talking about can you predict winning lottery numbers? And I'm like, oh my God, that'd be so funny to post something about how to select winning lottery numbers on April 1st, April Fool's Day, right? So April Fool's Day is super huge in my family, and we have done many, many years of pulling pranks on each other, and they've even been like super overboard. I went to my brother's house one day and tried to do the old saran wrap over his front door with the duct tape, so he walked into it. He thought I was breaking in. He called the cops on me, didn't know it was me. Oh my God, it was a huge mess. So it was absolutely hilarious afterwards, but I vowed to never scare anybody like that again. So with April Fool's Day coming up, I told this client, I was like, I'm gonna do a post on how to win the lottery numbers. How fun would that be? But I also thought that I would tie it in with some reality of how to do future predictions for yourself. Okay, so here's the thing. So how do you become a finely tuned instrument so that you can have these psychic moments for yourself, and no, I've never I really do have fun picking lottery numbers and seeing if they work and seeing which numbers work and which numbers don't. But I am human also. But I am working on being a millionaire. I am on my way. So let's talk about becoming a finely tuned instrument. What does that look like? What do you have to do for that? So when I first started my development, it very much was reflected on my mind. So you have to have a finely tuned mind. How do you do that? You look at your home. You start there first, okay? So your house is very much a reflection of your house and your mind, okay? So I would just want to say that first and foremost. So how do you do that? How do you clear out your house? How do you clear out your mind? You start with your home. I start at the bottom and go to the top because I'm very type A like that. And you go through each room, getting rid of things, or putting things into a pile of things that you no longer need, use, or love. That's the key. If it doesn't bring you joy, don't keep it. I can't think of the author right now, but she has a wonderful book about letting go of things that don't bring you joy. Very huge supporter of that. So you start in each room. Start in the kitchen. Go through your dishes, your cups, your whatever, go to the bathroom, go to your laundry room, living room, go through each room and clear out everything, clear out the clutter, clear out everything that doesn't bring you joy, and do it from top to bottom. The first time I did this, it brought tears to my eyes because I had 13 bags, 13 garbage bags in like 2 boxes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to look at what I'm doing here, because that's a lot for one person. But I had never gotten rid of anything, I had never gotten rid of anything for like 10 years or something. And now I do a ritual. I do it 4 times a year, every season. I clear out and I donate and I give, because I believe to receive more, you give more. But I give first, and receiving is something that happens because I'm a giving person. So that's how the energy works around that. So start with your house, clear it all out because it's a reflection of your mind, okay? And that's part of finely tuning. Then you go outside of the house, you clear out any relationships, any friends, any old ties, anything that doesn't bring you joy, okay? Yes, you are married to your family, you are married to your significant other, and you work on those relationships. You bring more joy into those relationships. If there are people that are really toxic, yes, clear them out. start fresh, start anew, say, this isn't a healthy situation for me, and you transform that situation. You get people to help you to transform those situations. And the ones that you want to enhance, then you look at those relationships, you start to enhance them, you start to heal them, you start to be a better person in them. And then by ritual or just by default, they become better people because you're a better person, okay? And it starts with you. You can never change someone else. You can only change you and what you do, how you act, and by virtue, it just changes them. I swear. I've done it in my own life, and it changes the people around you. It's a ripple effect, okay? So that's what you do next. And you change and transform those people. And then what you do next is you start getting into development groups. You start using mind mapping. You be around people that are intuitive. Then by being around people that are intuitive in group settings, and like-minded people, you start to be like them. Your mind starts to map like them. And then you work on things that you want to work on. You work on intuitive development, on mediumship development, on psychic development. All of that starts to unfold. So that's how you really get into the space of intuition for yourself. But here's the key: in learning intuition, you really have to go to the Course of Miracles and do some deep healing on yourself, and knowing that there are only two emotions: fear and love. And when you're thinking in fear, you're not thinking at all. Okay, so really instilling that. You want to become a great intuitive, a great psychic, get the Course in Miracles and study that book, because it's a big one. It's a lifelong study, let me tell you that much. So that's really how you get into it. And then if you want to start playing around with choosing numbers for the lottery, okay, then you start playing with it. Once you do all of the work behind it, then you start, you sit and you're like, oh, it just pops into you. Like 7, 4, 13, 21, 28, and you just start playing around with the numbers, and you see what numbers come to you in a day, and you start asking your angels and your guides. You're like, hey, I want to play around with my intuition with lottery numbers. Let's see what numbers come up. Let's see what numbers come intuitively and what numbers I force to come up, And so you can play around with it and do a meditation exercise, journaling exercise, and see what numbers come up there. And you can play, have fun with this, and see how cool your intuition is. See how right on it is. And really, it's not a test of seeing if you can win the lottery. Really, it's a test of how can I put my thinking mind aside so that I can let these numbers flow, And so, to be honest, I've never really tried it like that. I've never really put a lot of effort into it. But let's try it this month and let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get some winning lottery numbers, huh? I think it'll be awesome. So I hope you all have a great April Fool's Day, and God bless.